Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are calling it quits again. After months of speculation, the Jenny from the Block singer filed for divorce on their wedding anniversary. ABC News' Eva Pilgrim has the latest.
Bennifer has broken up. It was supposed to be their happily ever after. The couple reunited after nearly 2 decades apart. Jennifer Lopez filing for divorce from Ben Affleck on what would have been their second wedding anniversary. TMZ reporting Lopez listing the date of the separation as April 26th, saying the couple had no prenuptial agreement.
If, in fact, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck don't have a prenuptial agreement, they've just created a lot of trouble for themselves. They're going to need attorneys. They're going to need accountants to comb through all the financial records. And even though it's only 2 years, they've each made a significant amount of money in these last 2 years.
The duo often apart in recent months. Affleck spotted doing business around Los Angeles while J.Lo went on a European cruise, then to the Hamptons where she threw herself a Bridgerton-themed birthday with no sign of Ben. The pair shared an emotional and vulnerable side of their relationship in Lopez's documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told.
That heartbreak set both of us on a course to figuring ourselves out and to being better people.
Do you think you've forgiven me all the way?
Yeah, I think I've forgiven you all the way. I think I need to forgive myself some things.
Affleck, she admitted, was reluctant to be featured in the revealing behind-the-scenes project, initially uncomfortable being her muse.
I don't think he's very comfortable with me doing all of this, but he loves me. He knows I'm an artist, and he's gonna support me in every way he can.
Things that are private, I had always felt, are sacred and special because
Ben Affleck's personal life has long been a focal point of Hollywood buzz. And the latest chapter involving Jennifer Lopez and his ex-wife Jennifer Garner is no exception. It's a captivating narrative filled with love, reconciliation, and intense moments of confrontation. A storyline straight out of a blockbuster. Get ready for the drama to unfold.
private. So this was something of an adjustment for me.
I'm sorry. Do we know each other?
Not yet.
J.Lo and Ben first began dating in 2002 on the set of Gigli. They quickly became America's it couple and were due to marry in 2003, but called off the wedding just 4 days before. They later split in January of 2004. J.Lo opened up about that time to People magazine.
We didn't try to have a public relationship. We were kind of the hot couple at the time. And we may have played into that at the beginning because it was fun, and then it was not fun. Then it was like destroying us.
Affleck went on to marry actress Jennifer Garner. The couple had 3 children. Lopez married superstar singer Mark Anthony and had twins.
I know a little bit something good.
Both of those marriages ended in divorce. J.Lo appeared to find happiness during her 2-year engagement to baseball icon Alex Rodriguez, but the star said Affleck always held the key to her heart. In 2021, the pair rekindled their romance and made it Instagram official. She confirmed their status on her On the J.Lo newsletter.
I'm engaged!
The surprise Vegas nuptials came just 3 months later.
Somebody's getting married.
But the Hollywood fairy tale didn't last. A source close to J.Lo telling People magazine she tried really hard to make things work and is heartbroken. The kids are a top priority, as they always have been.
The drama began when whispers started circulating about trouble brewing in the seemingly perfect marriage of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. The pair had reignited their romance after nearly 20 years apart, culminating in a lavish wedding that left fans enchanted. But as the fairy tale romance unfolded, reality began to seep in. Reports emerged of struggles threatening to shake the foundation of their marriage, and that's when Jennifer Garner entered the picture.
Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are divorcing. Variety confirms Lopez filed for divorce today after slightly more than 2 years of marriage. Their official separation date is listed as April 26th. After rekindling a relationship from years ago, the two married in Las Vegas in July of 2022 and then again in a large ceremony in Georgia.
Imagine this, your ex-wife, the mother of your children, actively cheering for your new marriage to succeed. Unusual? Perhaps. Admirable? Absolutely. According to insiders, Jennifer Garner, who shares 3 children with Ben Affleck, encouraged him to mend his relationship with Jennifer Lopez. Garner believed in giving love another chance, even if it wasn't her own. Reports suggest she became friendly with Lopez, exchanging texts and offering support for their union. Now that's co-parenting on a whole new level.
No, never. No, we don't, because we're talking about a friend of the show. There are rumors going around that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are splitting up. The tabloids are all over it. He's been out of the house. They haven't seen the two of them in public in 47 days. And so people are buzzing. That's all I have to say. Next.
You know what? This is how I feel. They are in love. People, the world's on fire. I just know it. The people, what I don't like is that I know the world is on fire, but true love exists. It's still here. They love each other. Stop hating on true love because maybe you don't have it in your life.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
But I think Jennifer Lopez is like the Puerto Rican Liz Taylor.
She is.
Una Liz Taylor Boricua. And I think she's addicted to marriage, to love, to being part of a couple,
She's in
to
love,
romance.
Hannah.
She's wonderful for the marriage industry. And, remember Liz Taylor and Richard Burton were married and divorced and then got remarried. Look, they're young enough, they can do this a third time.
Yeah.
So I also think, how hard must it be to navigate a public relationship? Yeah. The number of days that I go out in a corner and I'm complaining about my husband walking the dog, but if you're an A-list celebrity, people are going to read into that. Yeah. They're going to pick up and think something's going on that's not. He's filming The Accountant 2 right now.
Yeah,
he very well is just on set. She's over here. She was hosting the Met Gala. She's doing whatever.
They're on 2 different
I wish them luck.
Well, and they act like it's a new story, but I feel like since the moment they got together, people are like, Ben's miserable. He's a hostage. He wants to leave.
Yeah.
And it's so this story is actually not new. It's a non-hap. It just keeps getting regurgitated.
Yes.
Well, non-hap was for you, Alyssa.
Yeah, I love non-hap.
I would just like to add to the story that when you go around shouting your love from the rooftops, it gets tricky when things don't go well. So my advice is keep your mouth shut.
But people start hating on it.
But they're J.Lo and Ben.
But that's the thing. Maybe if they...
I don't even tell Steve I love him in public. I don't say it in private either, but still. Just telling everybody how much you love each other and writing it on Instagram and on
it's so
Facebook.
empowering.
And then you get a divorce and everybody says, oh, you see? Except they have one apologist over here who thinks they're madly in love.
They're in love.
Maybe they are, maybe
But
they're
they can
not.
be madly in love and not work as a couple. Both things are not mutually exclusive.
I like that plan. Be madly in love and not work as a couple. I'm good with that.
She should try somebody that's not an A-list celebrity. Maybe,
She's tried that.
Oh, that's right.
She loves Ben.
You should try to protect some privacy if you can.
By the way, the story of
waiter,
Elizabeth Taylor,
Madonna.
the story of Elizabeth Taylor was much juicier than this.
Why?
I mean, she then drops one husband and picks up Eddie Fisher, who was married to Debbie Reynolds at the time. I mean, it was really interesting.
Despite Garner's well-meaning efforts, things didn't unfold as planned. On their second wedding anniversary, Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce, sending shockwaves through social media. Fans quickly began speculating about the cause. Was it Ben's well-known moody personality or the relentless demands of their high-profile Hollywood lives? Whatever the reason, it seemed J.Lo had finally reached her breaking point. Next voice.
Diddy to say, let me at least put this on record with the police of what happened. From your knowledge, because Cassie, everyone else, there's no police. It's all civil suits. But the first criminal situation that comes to play to where the police will say
they still buying time for all of the people who they don't want to get exposed.
Okay, go ahead.
No, this is about covering. This is all about covering the people they want to protect. He's the acceptable monster. He's just one of the bigger ones. There's a lot of people that are going to get hurt. Look at poor Jen and Ben.
Poor Jen and Ben. And Jen is...
She really thought she was going to make that story work. She was going to get her little white Irish Catholic boy, and she was going to be happily ever after. And him and all of his white friends, and they was going to be the Rat Pack with a bitch. It was going to be great. So much for Susie Sausage Head. I guess she's figuring out that's really high.
Sins of our past. So let me ask you this.
That's what she calls women.
Oh.
Susie Sausage Head, a.k.a. Dick Sucker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, from the block.
That's what Jennifer Lopez say. That's what she saying about the women. She call them the Susie Sausage Head. You want to know what's funny? I bet that's the same thing his wife, his first wife, says about her. The white girl who his family likes. Yeah. Even Gwyneth Paltrow don't like her.
There's a story.
You know they want her out of the Hamptons.
Gwyneth?
No. They want J.Lo out of the Hamptons.
Oh.
She bringing too much of the block to the porch.
It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is.
No, what it is she is the perfect example of what happens when you don't want to be yourself. She can't sing, but they got her a microphone and let her pretend.
After the divorce filing, Ben Affleck was seen spending Thanksgiving with Jennifer Garner and their 3 children. The family's cozy holiday celebration included distributing meals to the homeless, a heartfelt act that highlighted their strong co-parenting bond. While Ben reportedly felt blessed to be surrounded by his kids, Jennifer Lopez spent the holiday solo. Talk about a bittersweet contrast.
You know, and she wanted to be Barbie and she wanted to have Ken. But if you were to really find the dolls that would really display their relationship best, you had to get one of those little dominatrix dolls for her.
Damn.
And then you got to get the alcoholic one for him.
Oh.
And then every time you play with him, he gets to drink it.
He gets to drink. Oh, shit.
Like they should have toys that are real so kids don't have unrealistic expectations of where this grown-up shit goes.
I'm talking about Batman and
Batman and not Catwoman. He'd have been better off with Halle Berry if he wanted to get a little something with some color on it. He should have went with Halle Berry. Because at least she knows how to drive motherfuckers crazy in style. J.Lo is just, I don't know. Every man she's been with has said the same thing, except for Diddy. Diddy's the only one that said she was a great girlfriend and how he wish he hadn't messed it up.
Now,
how is that the only man in her life that had regrets about their relationship but everybody else ran for the hills? Like, it's not nobody noticing that. That everybody else that's left her, oh, she was too this, she was this, she was that. But Diddy said she was perfect.
Yeah, maybe she was meant for the medal.
What happens if you're only perfect for the devil?
God.
What the fuck does that make you?
There's an alleged story going out saying that Diddy was going to be sued by the cartel because he shortened up the drug supply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure he did. All that Tootsie. How they supposed to sneak the fentanyl in?
He too much attention brought.
How they supposed to sneak the fentanyl in if they can't transport the Tootsie?
This is crazy because, you know.
No, I'm sure he did fuck up the drug supply. Do you know how many victims woke up out of their sleep knowing that they was, they not confused no more,
Jaguar, do you really believe Diddy was handling or using drugs?
Of course.
Okay.
Did you not hear the little white man we just spoke to and talking about using the ketamine?
We heard
and you gotta do the ketamine.
We heard a lot.
It's a horse tranquilizer.
I mean, you got ketamine.
Did you hear what I said?
It's a horse.
Diddy said you gotta use the horse tranquilizer if you want to get closer to the music.
Sources close to Ben reveal that he feels a unique sense of comfort with Jennifer Garner that he hasn't been able to replicate with anyone else, including Jennifer Lopez. It's hard to ignore that while others have criticized Lopez, Ben has always praised Garner. He's the only one to openly admit she was a great partner and expressed regret over how he let their relationship slip away. While others have moved on, he's the one left with lingering feelings. They share a history and a bond that's hard to break, said an insider. It's clear that their connection goes beyond just co-parenting. There's a deep friendship and mutual respect between them.
Like, it's not nobody noticing that. That everybody else that's left her, oh, she was too this, she was this, she was that. But Diddy said she was perfect. Diddy's the only one that said she was a great girlfriend and how he wish he hadn't messed it up. How is that the only man in her life that had regrets about their relationship, but everybody else
and lives happily ever after? Many of us have most recently been rooting for Ashanti and Nelly getting a second chance at love, but rumors are swirling about Hollywood heavyweights J.Lo and Ben Affleck. On the other hand, the TMZ investigates, looking now into missed warning signs for the stars. Executive producer Harvey Levin is here this morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, Anita, how you doing?
Doing all right. So J.Lo did post a Father's Day message to Ben that has people interested. They've been seen at a few events together recently. Is there reason to believe there's really trouble in paradise?
There's more than trouble. I mean, they're clearly getting divorced. They are selling their family home that they bought. Ben has moved out. She, we know, is privately looking with a Beverly Hills realtor for her own house. Those are not the signs of reconciliation. This marriage is over. And what's interesting about the documentary, I think, is that just about everybody we spoke to said they saw this coming like a freight train rolling down the tracks. And they saw it coming since their first relationship more than 20 years ago. Because, look, I mean, one of the interesting things, Anita, that I think I learned from this, you know, we knew Ben Affleck has a substance abuse problem. He's an addict, and he's been very open about it. She is also an addict, a love addict. And I did not even know that was a thing, but it is. And it's when somebody consistently falls fast and hard for somebody, and then they create this fantasy of a relationship that can never live up to real life. And she has gone through relationship after relationship, and she's never had that downtime to reflect. And, you know, the people we talked to said that it just will never work unless that happens, and it didn't.
Well, that says a lot. Okay. Folks, if you don't know, or you don't think maybe that we can handle another Bennifer breakup, you at least have to see what's leading up to it if it's going to happen. Catch TMZ Investigates J.Lo and Ben Missed Warning Signs on Fox. Last night, it was here. It's going to be on Hulu now.
It's on Hulu.
Right,
it's on Hulu now.
Right, I said Hulu. I got you. I said Fox last night, Hulu now.
Okay.
But here's the twist that has everyone talking. Jennifer Lopez was reportedly not happy about how close Ben and Garner have become. Can you blame her? Imagine struggling through a tough marriage, only to see your partner finding comfort and solace with their ex.
One of the reasons, and it's really interesting, everybody knows Ben has a substance abuse problem, and he is an addict. But the people we spoke to also said that Jennifer Lopez is an addict, not substance abuse. She is a love addict. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's actually a thing, that she falls fast and hard for people. And she usually gets engaged, or she has gotten engaged just months after getting involved with somebody. And when it ends, there is no alone time. She goes right to the next person. And a lot of the people we talked to said that is just a recipe for disaster. When it comes to maintaining a relationship, you need this kind of alone time. The other thing is, and you know, this sounds superficial, but it's real. He hates publicity, Ben Affleck, and she loves it like a moth is driven to a flame. And this is what torpedoed their first relationship, or at least one of the reasons, according to them. And yet they repeated this a second time, going on this kind of love tour. And when he looks miserable, a lot of the people we talked to said he actually is miserable.
Yeah, my Boston brethren, every time we saw him, he had a frown on his face. But we want to get to some sound right now, Harvey. Let's go there real quick.
It seems to me that you need to have that alone time, which she's never had.
You're 100% right. She does. She did. They both need it. 100%. She's a love and sex addict. Look at the men she's with. She can't be alone. She needs a man in her life. She has never spent any real time developing herself, and her career's in the and she's talented.
As for Ben, he didn't hold back either. Sources claimed that he confronted J.Lo, accusing her of being overly controlling and not respecting his need for balance in his life. Their disagreements reportedly grew intense, eventually leading both of them to realize that ending things was the only way forward. It's a messy breakup, but given the circumstances, it almost seemed inevitable.
These kids on both sides have already been involved in one divorce, and in J.Lo's case, more than one. And then, in terms of relationships. And, now they blended and they're kind of broken apart. So, theoretically, yeah, they've gotten close, but they are going to lead separate lives. I mean, look, they're getting divorced. They're selling the family house. He's moved out. We know she is looking for her own home. So do they maintain a relationship? It's possible, but they are going to be in separate orbits eventually, because all signs here are this marriage is over.
And now she gave him a very special Happy Father's Day shout out, calling Ben their hero. I mean, no one's pulled the plug yet, Harvey. Is it safe to say that it's possible they could get things back on track?
Yeah, I mean, Tristan, anything is possible. But again, they have put their home on the market. He has moved out. She is now separately working with a realtor in Beverly Hills looking for her own home. That's not the sign of two people who are going to try and reconcile. And it's just not what we're hearing. So, I know a lot of people were rooting for this, and that itself might be a problem, because what happens is that when you've got two big stars and you've got the world kind of rooting for this fantasy, they buy into it, and if it doesn't work, they feel still that need to hold it together. It just hasn't worked. And we get into that in some detail in the Hulu documentary that dropped today.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch it actually yesterday ahead of this interview, and the whole time, Harvey, I was like, ooh. So it's certainly worth watching. Why don't you let the people out there know how they can watch it?
It is on Hulu. It dropped today. It is called J.Lo and Ben Missed Warning Signs. And you will hear from a lot of people who know a whole lot in this area, including the person you just mentioned, John Peters, one of the most successful producers in Hollywood, who actually put J.Lo in one of her first movies.
All right, Harvey, thank you. We appreciate you. Well, more to come for sure.
Appreciate the time.
As for Jennifer Garner, she seems to be the unsung hero in this entire saga. She's managed to keep her dignity intact while focusing on her children, all while dealing with the complex dynamics of having an ex-husband who's always in the public eye. Her Thanksgiving gathering with Ben wasn't just a family celebration. It was a powerful statement of strength, showing that even after a decade apart, they can still come together for the sake of their kids.
Singer Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from actor Ben Affleck today in L.A. Superior Court. She actually filed that paperwork herself, no attorney. The couple married July 16th, 2022, but today is the second anniversary of their traditional showy wedding ceremony in Georgia. Sources tell TMZ there's no prenup. Lopez waived spousal support and asked the judge to deny the same for Affleck.
As for Garner, she appears to be the unsung hero in this saga. She's managed to maintain her dignity and focus on her kids, all while navigating the complicated dynamics of having an ex-husband who's constantly in the spotlight. Her Thanksgiving gathering with Ben wasn't just a family affair, it was a statement of strength, showing that even after a decade apart, they can come together for their children.
Welcome back. Jennifer Lopez was asked about the Ben Affleck divorce rumors during a press event for her upcoming film Atlas in Mexico City. Before J.Lo could respond, her co-star Simu Liu jumped in saying, "Okay, we are not doing that." J.Lo ended the conversation telling that reporter, "You know better than that." Rumors about Affleck and Lopez's relationship troubles have been brewing, with sources telling Fox News Digital they are currently living separately. A representative for Lopez has not commented on the rumors.
Fans have been divided over the whole situation. Team J.Lo supporters argue that she deserves better and shouldn't have to compete with an ex-wife for her husband's attention.
Colombia, Meghan told a panel discussion titled Afro-Descendant Women and Power, Voice of Equity, that her daughter has found her voice, and she's found her voice as an empowered woman of colour. She's 3, Kinsey, and I don't know, she's a ginger. I mean, really, as a 3-year-old, found her voice as an empowered woman of color?
Well, find me a 3-year-old that hasn't found their voice screaming their heads off on the playground. But I found this, one of the references, as she was leading into this, I found it almost a slight to the royal family. She said, I know how it feels when you don't utilize your voice, when you need to be heard or have something to say. Think back to that Oprah Winfrey quote, silent or silenced. You know, so it's almost like she's bringing that up again. Meanwhile, every time she does open her mouth, it's the same unverifiable story. We hear you loud and clear, Megyn. You hated Procter & Gamble's dish soap commercials because assuming women spend a significant amount of time in the kitchen is sexist. Now tell us all about your new cooking show. Does it take place in a kitchen? The hypocrisy astounds.
Absolutely. She's just desperately looking for victimhood wherever she can find it. Kinsey Schofield, thank you so much for.
Then it opens the door, you know, for the kind of scrutiny where when Ben slams the car door or they get in an argument at the Grammys, it magnifies itself. But the other thing that I did not know was a thing, look, he is an addict. He's very open about his alcohol addiction. She, too, is an addict. She is a love addict. A love addict, and I didn't know this, it's somebody who always falls really fast and really hard, and they fantasize about relationships that can never live at this level. It always lives at this level in real life, and they can't handle it. And when it falls apart, they immediately go to the next one. And when you look at Jennifer Lopez, she has not been alone for reflection her entire adult life. So a lot of people say you can't have an enduring relationship when you don't take that break. But a love addict is a real thing.
Wow. I mean, I would think it was just something made up that people just say you're a love addict. But yes, I think the way you're describing it, it's actually scientifically a true statement. What I think is interesting is how personal people take these media relationships, right? When you have two celebrities and they had a past and they're back together and you think it's forever and people get so emotionally involved, it's just kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I always thought it's kind of ridiculous that when two people are getting divorced, there are so many fans who say, no, don't do it. As if what matters is that the fans are satisfied rather than the people who are married are satisfied. Yet that's the way our culture works, that, you know, people are upset when they like the way two people look together. But what they don't realize is that's the way they look. It's not necessarily the way they are. And, you know, I don't think that's ever going to change. But it does get in the way of people living their lives the way they want to and not the way others want them to.
All right, Harvey, thank you very much for being with us this morning. You can watch TMZ Investigates J.Lo and Ben Missed Warning Signs on Hulu. It is streaming now.
Harvey, thank you. Talk to you next time.
Meanwhile, Team Garner fans applaud her for being the bigger person, consistently putting her children first. On the other hand, there's Team Ben, a smaller group that sympathizes with the actor's struggle to find happiness amid all the chaos.
After breaking up in the early 2000s, they reunited and married in 2022. Rumors have been swirling for months after it was revealed they were living in separate homes. Lopez filed the paperwork today in Los Angeles. The official separation date listed is April 26th of this year. That's according to Variety. Neither one has publicly commented on this news.
Most recently been rooting for Ashanti and Nelly getting a second chance at love, but rumors are swirling about Hollywood heavyweights J.Lo and Ben Affleck. On the other hand, the TMZ Investigates, looking now into missed warning signs for the stars. Executive producer Harvey Levin is here this morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, Anita, how you doing?
Doing all right. So J.Lo did post a Father's Day message to Ben that has people interested. They've been seen at a few events together recently. Is there reason to believe there's really trouble in paradise?
There's more than trouble. I mean, they're clearly getting divorced. They are selling their family home that they bought. Ben has moved out. She, we know, is privately looking with a Beverly Hills realtor for her own house. Those are not the signs of reconciliation. This marriage is over. And what's interesting about the documentary, I think, is that just about everybody we spoke to said they saw this coming like a freight train rolling down the tracks. And they saw it coming since their first relationship more than 20 years ago. Because, look, I mean, one of the interesting things, Anita, that I think I learned from this, you know, we knew Ben Affleck has a substance abuse problem. He's an addict, and he's been very open about it. She is also an addict, a love addict. And I did not even know that was a thing, but it is. And it's when somebody consistently falls fast and hard for somebody, and then they create this fantasy of a relationship that can never live up to real life. And she has gone through relationship after relationship, and she's never had that downtime to reflect. And, you know, the people we talked to said that it just will never work unless that happens, and it didn't.
Well, that says a lot. Okay. Folks, if you don't know or you don't think maybe that we can handle another Bennifer breakup, you at least have to see what's leading up to it if it's going to happen. Catch TMZ Investigates J.Lo and Ben Missed Warning Signs on Fox. Last night it was here. It's going to be on Hulu now.
It's on Hulu.
Right.
It's on Hulu now.
Right. I said Hulu. I got you. I said Fox last night, Hulu now.
Okay.
What's truly fascinating about this entire saga is how it underscores the complexities of modern relationships. Love, especially in the celebrity world, is rarely simple. It's a blend of past connections, new hurdles, and the never-ending pressure of living in the spotlight. For Ben, Jennifer Garner, and J.Lo, it's a delicate balancing act between personal happiness and public perception.
It's official, Kinsey. Bennifer is over. Again, Jennifer Lopez has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck 2 years after they were married and 2 decades after they were first engaged. And the date she chose to file those papers, I think, made a bit of a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the second anniversary of their wedding in Georgia. Page 6 reports that sources close to Jennifer Lopez says she specifically filed for divorce from Ben Affleck. Rumors were that he was prepared to do it to show that she's a woman standing up on her own. Several outlets have reported that Ben Affleck did not want to fix this marriage despite her efforts. And Daily Mail quoted a friend saying he was impossible to be married to. He is selfish, sullen, and negative. She was constantly trying to lift his spirits, boost him up. It was exhausting. Eventually, the negativity was overwhelming. And after months of gossip that Jen found humiliating, she went ahead and called it quits.
Well, yeah, we've been talking about this for months. It seems like everyone's known this marriage was doomed. I don't know, they both seem particularly unpleasant if you ask me. Now, quite a few celebrities have been appearing at the Democratic National Convention. We've had Oprah, Little John, Stevie Wonder. But in addition to the celebrities, the DNC has credentialed more than 200 influencers and content creators for the event. Some of the traditional journalists are not happy about this. Some are whining about the working conditions being terrible, them being relegated to the cheap seats. Tell me about this. Why are the Democrats replacing activist journalists with activist content creators?
I mean, the fast answer is desperation. But I mean, anyone that watches lefties losing it knows why this is such a risk. How much due diligence went into researching the 200 content creators invited and prioritizing influencers with no journalism background or guidelines feels hyper irresponsible. While White House correspondents are shoved in a dark corner, influencers are running around taking selfies with high profile Democrats, living their best lives with no journalistic integrity. I mean, Rita, we used to be the greatest country in the world, and now we're throwing hotties for Harris parties at the DNC. Jesus, take the wheel.
Well, I think it was Monday we looked at some of these influencers, and the DNC themselves, their official account, they put out a list of these influencers that are going to be there. And some of the ones they were promoting are just radically fringe-dwelling, questionable characters. So they're lucky that they've got the media on side. Otherwise, there might be a little bit of scrutiny on this. Now, let's switch to Harry and Meghan and the